All right, Shalom, everybody. It is 12:40 Monday morning. Doing a quick update. It's kind of slow on the news on the weekend and everything. So, quick update. Italy had its biggest day of deaths. It was like 368. Um, the virus is growing everywhere still. I think India has like 100 cases now. Um, the feds made an announcement and dropped the interest rates. I believe one whole point, so we should be like, I believe, negative 0.25 interest rate, I believe. And stocks nosedive for the futures to the point that they halted the futures and wouldn't let them trade. So we have to see what that's gonna do in the morning. Today, for the verse, for right now, I'm gonna go to Proverbs 3. It's not really talking about anything that's pertaining to what's going on right now, but well, actually, it is. We'll get into that, but it's not like the other things we've been talking about. We'll get more into that. I'll have another video later. So now we're gonna get into it. Proverbs 3 says, "My son, forget not my law, but let thine heart keep my commandments." See, gotta come back to the laws and commandments of God. Point blank, period. For the length of days, in long life, and peace shall they add to you. See, that's what they give. Because at the end of the day, even if you die, if you're a martyr for Christ, you still get the kingdom, which is peace and everlasting life. Right? It says, "Let not mercy and truth forsake thee." You see? So you got to remember to have mercy as you expect God to have mercy on you. In the truth, to always believe in the word, regardless of what the world would say, because the world will want to paint a different picture than what the Bible's painting. And the world is way more confusing. That's why people are so confused. They don't know if they born the right way or, with their mind problems and all of these things. The Bible would consider it spiritual battles. But we consider it different things, mental illnesses and such things. You know what I'm saying? So the whole point is if you keep the truth and you realize the word is the truth, then it bypasses everything. It puts everything in life in order. All right? It says, bind them about thy neck, right? So it said, let not mercy and truth forsake thee. Bind them about thy neck. So hold both of them close to you. Write them upon the table of thine heart. You see? So shalt thou find favor and good understanding in the sight of God and man. You see? Good understanding. That's a key thing. Wisdom. Solomon had wisdom. In these times, it's going to be the wisdom of God. And it comes from the above said things, keeping the commandments, putting mercy and truth around your neck, writing them on your heart. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to take all of these things. It says, so shalt thou find favor and good understanding in the sight of God and man, right? So you'll be able to understand God and man. That's big, because what happens is a lot of people is programmed to believe one thing or another, rather they hear it on YouTube or they hear it on the news, and they don't know how to decipher what's real and what's not real. You know, how to put the stats together and add the numbers together and make sense of everything. It says, trust in the Lord with all thine heart and lean not unto thine own understanding. You see? So it's not the way we want it. It's the way the book say it's going to be. Always. In all thy ways acknowledge him. God, give him the glory and the praise, because he's the one who gives us any wisdom, any knowledge, any understanding. It's all him, it's not us. And he shall direct thy path. See? So if we acknowledge him for what he's doing, for how he's waking us up, and what spirit he's given us, and for everything else he's done for us, then he'll direct us in our path. Be not wise in thine own eyes. Fear the Lord and depart from evil. You see? So that's the whole point. When people say, oh, you can't be good, did this and that, this and that. He says, don't be wise in don't tell yourself you can't do something. That's you being wise to yourself. Oh, can't nobody do this. What did he say? He said, be not wise in thine own eyes, fear the Lord. Fear the Lord is the beginning of obedience, and depart from evil. They go hand in hand. He says, it shall be health to thy navel and marrow to thy bones. Honor the Lord with thy substance, and with the first fruit of all thine increase. So honor the Lord with thine substance, with the things that you possess, right? And the first fruit of all the things you get. That's pretty much when it talks about tithing and everything like that. And it's not necessarily saying you got to go give it to a man in the church, though. That's the tithe money. What did Christ say? That money was to give back to the people. It was always for the people. So think about that. It says, so shall thy barns be filled with plenty, and thy presses shall burst out with new wine. Right? So if you honor the Lord with thy substance, and with the first fruit of all thine increase, meaning you help out of what you have, and you do what you can out of the increase God gives you, so shall thy barns be filled with plenty, and thy presses shall burst out with new wine. So the more you do this, the more God is going to help you when you need it, right? It's not saying that you just because you give money to people, you just going to become rich, but you will be rich, because every time you need something, God's going to pull it through. And that's 100%, right? So it says, my son, despise not the chastening of the Lord, neither be weary of his correction. So don't despise the whooping that you're getting from God. Don't despise the place that you placed in by God. Everything is done for a reason. Neither be weary of his correction. Understand, sometimes he puts you in places and he do things to you in order for you to grow out of them and become better. That's what this is about. This judgment. To see who gonna come out. This is the wheat and the tares. It's time to see who gonna come out. You know what I'm saying? So right now people still got a chance and an opportunity to pick up that pick up their cross or their burden, I should say, and carry it, the burden. Kill themselves daily. Fight that battle. Get into it. It's the perfect time because it's almost too late. And the Passover is coming up. Next Saturday or this Friday night starts the Passover. Perfect time to keep it. All right? Excuse me. And it says, for whom the Lord loveth, he correcteth, even as a father the son whom he delighteth. Right? So it says, my son, despise not the chastening of the Lord, neither be weary of his correction. So don't be mad at the things that's happening to you and how the way God is doing you, especially for us, for Israel, for people who just want to blame other people for their situation. No, God had this all planned out from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? So the low will be made high and the high will be brought low. This was all planned out from the very beginning. This is God's plan. For whom the Lord loveth, he corrected. So he's only doing this to make you better at the end. You get what I'm saying? To make us a better people at the end. Even as a father, the son in whom he delighteth, right? So a father wants his child to be a good child because he wants his son to succeed and be better than him or be as good as him. Like, we can't be better than God for sure, but a father, a man father, would want you to be better than he was. That's what you get when you read some of the older books that was left by some of the apostles. If you read like the uh, the lost books of the 12 patriarchs, or the books of the 12 patriarchs, where all of all of Jacob's children, you know, write to their children what they did in their life and how they messed up and how not to mess up and how to keep it together. That's pretty much what the Bible is about. Okay? So it says, happy is the man that findeth wisdom, and the man that getteth understanding. You see, because that's the most important thing, is that God blesses you with his wisdom and his understanding to be able to decipher the times in the word. So you could be able to make it to his kingdom, or be able to cleanse yourself to at least be a martyr for him, to where even if you die, you still make it to the kingdom. And it says, for the merchandise of it is better than the merchandise of silver, and the gain thereof of fine gold. Why? Because the man that finds wisdom and gets the understanding that God wants him to have, the kingdom that God is creating is greater than anything we could understand here today. She is more precious than rubies, and all the things that thou canst desire are not compared unto her. The length of days in her right hand. It says length of days is in her right hand. In her left hand, riches and honor. And it's not talking about just gold and things. It's talking about riches, like spirit riches, pureness, peace, tranquility, a new body, a holier body. Like things we couldn't even imagine. It's hard to even put it into words because it's like speaking sci-fi. But so many people believe in sci-fi because sci-fi is reality now. But this will be the reality soon. It says, her ways are the ways of pleasantness, and all of her paths are peace. And this is the spirit of God. It makes you pleasant, the understanding. You know, it's hard. You don't get as mad. You can't get mad like that when you got the spirit in you, because it's more funny. That don't mean you can't cut a person. Check them out real and drop some truth on them. But that don't mean you have to be mad or angry while doing it. You see? And her paths are peace. She is the tree of life to them that lay hold upon her. Happy is everyone that retaineth her. Why? Because if you get this wisdom and this understanding, this is the wisdom of God. This is what Christ said he would leave behind. If you obtain this, then you pretty much have God on your shoulder. It's not like, man, it's not like tricks. See, the thing is, we don't understand yet, because the confirmation of the second covenant happens in the wilderness when the spirit gets dropped down on us again, and that changes everything. See, we don't understand because a lot of people have lost belief in what the apostles and the people did, how a shadow used to heal all the people who was around it, how Christ healed and did all those miracles. People have lost belief in that. Now it just becomes a money thing. But money is about to fade away. And it says, the Lord by wisdom has founded the earth. By understanding has he established the heavens. By his knowledge are the depths broken up, and the clouds drop down the dew. My son, let them not depart from thine eyes. Keep sound wisdom in discretion. You see, that's what I was meaning. Being able to understand, to decipher one thing from another. So shall they be life unto thy soul and grace unto thy neck. Thou shalt walk in the way safely, and thy foot shall not stumble. Meaning, if you're doing what he's telling you to do, he's going to carry you. You won't fall. While thou liest down, thou shalt not be afraid. I mean, even if you do fall, or even if you do go to sleep, you won't be afraid. Yea, thou shalt lie down, and thy sleep shall be sweet. Remember when Christ said that Lazarus was asleep, but he was dead. He's saying that if you doing this, even if you lie down, even if you die, even if you go to sleep, your sleep will be peaceful. Be not afraid of sudden fear, neither of the desolation of the wicked when it cometh. So he's like, so even if you might have to suffer death, don't be afraid of the desolation of the wicked when it cometh, because it has to. There has to be a judgment. There has to be a separation between believers and non-believers, between followers and non-followers. For the Lord shall be thine confidence, and shall keep thy foot from being taken. Right? So he's not going to allow you to be taken by the devil if you believe and you follow. And if you believe and you follow, like I said earlier, then you will receive the Spirit. That's what this is all about. And this is coming towards that. Now the destruction and the separation is coming to be at hand shortly. It says, withhold not good from them whom it is due, when it is in the power of thine hand to do it. So anytime you can, do it. When people be like, I'm not trying to cast my Jews to swine, so you ain't gonna give this person no money because they might go do something with it. It don't matter. If you got the ability to help a person, help them. Period. When it says don't give your Jews, your cash your swine and your jewels to swine, it's speaking of knowledge and understanding. It's not speaking of money. It's saying that if you wise, say you wise, you understand this great math problem, right? This great math equation. You ain't gonna tell it to a person in kindergarten, you know. Say you bilingual and you speak French, Spanish, and English. You're not gonna speak French to a person who don't speak it and think you're gonna hold a conversation. That's what it means. Don't cast your jewels to swine. Don't cast what is from God or wise or intelligent to somebody who won't understand it. You wasting your time. Okay. It says, say not unto thy neighbor, go and come again, and tomorrow I will give, when thou hast it by thee. If you have it, just give it. Devise not evil against thy neighbor, seeing he dwelleth securely by thee. So stop always thinking evil against each other and planning to do against each other because we think somebody's about to do to us. Strive not with a man without cause. That's real cause. You gotta go to Leviticus to look at them causes because that means something actually had to be done to you. If he have done thee no harm, envy no harm. right? So don't strive to do no man no cause if he's done you no harm. And the harm is, like I say, the things in the law. Now, even if the things in the law, you're not supposed to just go at them and kill a person because they harmed you in one of those ways. It's just a way that you're supposed to get repaid. Even if a person steals from you, they're supposed to give you back double according to the law, right? It says, envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways. Right? So don't be like the person who oppressing you. Don't envy them. Don't want to be people who believe they have a higher status. Your status is with God. The lowest status on earth is probably the best because it'll probably be the highest with God. So don't envy those people who oppress you and choose none of their ways. Don't act like them. Don't do the things they do. For forward is the abomination to the Lord, but his secret is with the righteous. Right? So the world moves forward and leaves God behind. Technology and advancement, and the more they grow, the more they feel like they're God and they can prove God doesn't exist. But his secret is with the righteous. The righteous people understand that God told everybody what's going to happen this whole time. And his son's going to come back with the power and flex on the world. It says, the curse of the Lord is in the house of the wicked, but he is blessed, but he blesseth the habitation of the just. Right? So it said, so it's like, don't this all this stuff that's happening is gonna take out the wicked. Christ said it himself. Christ said it best. Christ said, even a little iniquity shall be taken out of the world. Iniquity is transgression of the law, even, and that is what wickedness is to God. The law was written to teach us how to be righteous. Now, I'm not talking about the death of the law, right? I'm talking about the way he taught us how to interact with each other. Even whether you were clean or not, and what to do if you weren't clean. Told you to wash your clothes and wash your body, and you were unclean to the evening. People should really look into it. It says, surely he scorneth the scorners, but he giveth grace unto the lowly. The wise shall inherit glory, but shame shall be the promotion of fools. And when it's talking about wisdom, it's talking about the wisdom and understanding given by God. And that's it today. That's what I'm aware of for right now. I'm gonna hit it back. I'm gonna hit you back up a little bit later today because this is early in the morning. So probably in the afternoon sometime. And it'll be, we're gonna hit it on the head with this next one for sure. Thank you. Y'all have a blessed one. Shalom.